talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to stick around, I'll answer all your questions the best of my abilities, do a little Q&A. But if you got to go, take off. I appreciate you. See you on the next one. Now let's get into some Q&A. Hey, everybody. My man. How's Puerto Rico? Boy, I got to tell you, we're in Texas for the next couple of weeks or so. Nothing like home. I'd like to get back to Puerto Rico as fast as possible. Although, I got to tell you, the food in El Paso is fantastic. Red Panda Pie is here. Seth is here. Steve, all right. Hello, Steve. Rusty Bots is here somewhere. Yeah. Sounds like Rob, like Crypto.com. Everyone was screaming they were broke and that their fall, yet here they stand. Crypto.com is better than... You know what? I can't argue with that because how often does Crypto.com go down? I think Coinbase just went down yesterday. Correct me in the comment section. And we're not even like a blow-off-top bull run. Like, I don't know. Like if I had a business, I have multiple businesses actually, but as time has gone on, I think, okay, there's going to be a big run on Mother's Day. There's going to be a big run on Christmas. There's going to be a big run on this specific time frame. I would probably want to fortify my business with either some kind of upgrades or get more employees or get people in-house to actually help me to meet the demand that is actually coming in. And of course, that doesn't really happen with Coinbase. For some reason, they just can't figure it out. You know, they do pretty well, but I don't know what it is. And maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Coinbase. Maybe I am. Maybe there was something that happened that I'm not aware of, and it wasn't incompetence. Maybe I'm just complaining too much. That's probably what it is. All right. Edward Fox, best background pick in the biz. ADA DeFi built during the bear market. Check. That's true. I just had a talk with, not Mickey, Josh Watkins, his brother, yesterday. And we were talking about Minutes Network. And Minutes World Mobile Token, of course, is built on ADA or Cardano, but they've also done their side chain with Aya. And essentially, they're making big strides in connectivity with talk, text, and data. And let's see, they have it in Tanzania, some other place, and also in the United States. And I was talking to Josh about Minutes. We did a deep dive video on Dan Degen, and he told me, and I can't tell you who it is, but he told me that the governments that they're working with to meet the requirements that their citizens need for telecommunications, and also the company that they're working with as far as to bridge that gap. And I got to tell you, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. When I can tell you, but yeah, Cardano, I mean, just those right there on that project is good enough. Go all in. Yeah, exactly. Panda, everybody's saying, everybody's here. Good on you. It's like just getting together, right? Isn't it good to get together here? It's not like the friends and family will listen to you. How many times you talk to them about Bitcoin and crypto and meme coins and they're like, shut up. I don't want to hear about it. That's pretty good. Veer's got a good point. Veer hoeft die flufen. If ETF market is 9 trillion, then crypto to 5 trillion this cycle is feasible. Not just that, but like we talked about, in the our traditional stock market, the traditional stock market here, looking at 36 trillion. The global markets are over 122 trillion dollars. Gold is 11.5 trillion, and I think it's even 12 or almost 13 now. And of course, real estate, you're looking at 328 trillion dollars. And of course, all the different things that also the money is sloshing around. Why can't we just peel off, $500 billion there and 1 trillion there? Before you know it, we're at 10 trillion. It's feasible. But again, I don't know when we're going to get there. Wow. Wick says, Rob, I work at a credit union. That's great. I like credit unions. They're better than the big banks. We're adopting real-time payments. For a place that hardly adopts tech, was basically overnight compatible with speed of crypto. CBD is interesting or nah? No, that is interesting. And it's, I wonder if you guys are hooked into FedNow. Because we talked about this as people would say, well, FedNow is, it's basically the worst thing of all time. No, the worst thing of all time is probably CBDCs. But if you could link yourself into the liquidity that is FedNow and give people real-time payments, sounds good to me. I can, as far as a business owner, I'll take it. And if somebody else wants to pay with stables, great. I'll use Ivan Pay and I'll do some kind of integration. But yeah, I think that's pretty big because real-time payments and settlement are quite a hassle depending on the credit union or the bank itself. You want to get paid, you want it to be settled. If I can send an email to a friend of mine in Singapore and it gets there in seconds, why can't I do the same thing with money? It should be the same thing. Oh, there you go. Coinbase was down for hours. I'll be damned. JH, what did I miss? Nothing. Just gave you my secret recipe of the next 100x meme coin that I put my entire life savings into. I'm just kidding. He didn't miss much. Let's see. All in Krakow. Token on Luna Classic. Yep. Fuzzbear says El Paso has so many good restaurants. It's true. It's very hard to stay thin here. Yeah. Minutes. I think it's going to be pretty big because it actually does something. And here. There's a YouTube channel. And it's where I talk about the most degenerate, well, I call them the degen plays because I don't like to talk about the really risky stuff on this channel because that's not what the channel is for. This channel is to calm everybody down, kind of get your head on straight, don't go crazy, and just be a little level-headed moving forward. I can't tell you what to do, but I try to do as best I can. But on Dan Degen, that goes out the window. And I say, hey, this one's going to be pretty, this going to be pretty. But there is, if you do a search for Dan Degen minutes, it's this one right here. It's great. So essentially what it'll allow people to do, it's hard to explain. There's always a middleman between your calls, between you, which is the origination end, and the end user, which would be the termination end. Wouldn't it be, and that's what is a lot of costs is for these calls. So wouldn't it be great, especially if you're doing international calls, wouldn't it be great if you could actually, I don't know, talk to the different assets, or excuse me, the different apps that are out there and say, hey, how would you like to generate some more revenue? What we're going to do is we're going to insert 2 lines of code. Those 2 lines of code, if somebody has like, say, Flappy Bird on one side, and on the other side, somebody has, I don't know, Pen app or whatever. And now you can use those 2 apps and those 2 lines of codes allows them to make a connection, make a call. The people that actually have those apps get paid in crypto. It reduces the cost overall and allows the provider to actually save money. That's what that does. Take a look at the video. I didn't do that justice in that one. That was not a really good explanation. Sorry. Like I said, sometimes very difficult. We need I'm a Dan tourist dump on me. No. There's like, I know when the tourists are here because everybody starts calling me Dan. As long, when people call me Rob and hey, Dad, that type of stuff. I'm like, oh, it's still the same people. Flappy Bird update. Yeah, okay, I'll give you an update. We're going through Apple and Android right now and going back and forth on listing. That's pretty much it. Rob, tell Rusty why he should buy more Pure rather than more meme coins. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you that, like, I buy Bonk every day. Go figure. But I also buy Bitcoin and some other blue chips every day too. But no, I can't tell you what to buy. Pure, PYR, I think that's a Web3 gaming platform, could do pretty well. They'll all do very well in the blow-up top bull market. So it just depends on which one's going to have the multiples of revenue increases. Yep. Mega Trump meme coin is doing well. Have you checked that coin? Yes, I own it. I know. People say, well, Rob, I didn't think you liked Donald Trump. Who cares? As long as the coin goes up. I could buy a coin called black licorice. It's the most disgusting food on the planet. And if it goes up, I really don't care. Let's see. Floki chart setup looks like it's going to pull a Pepe. Ooh, all right. Yeah, Pence chair is here. Good deal. Surfing is fun. Bonk, exactly. Also, take a look at the video we talked about as far as with Bonk rewards. Just do a search for digital asset news, how to stake Bonk. Great website so far. I get to pull out I think it's like 1.5 million Bonk every day. Yeah, $1.5 million bonk every day for the ones that I've staked with them. Hola Toaster. El Machico, is Mega Trump Cherry's donations real? The receipts real? I don't know. If they say they're real, I wonder if we can see that on the on-chain analysis. Maybe we should get them on the show. Maybe we should ask them right to their face. That'd be good. French Toaster. ICP, what is your opinion? Every time I look at developer or dev inputs and who's actually doing the work, ICP is usually number one. So let that be your judge. I own ICP, just not a lot of it. I just don't know how well it's going to do. Fun in the Sun says you mentioned Degen. Katamoto is interesting. I bought Katamoto. I bought a lot of Katamoto. What's great about Katamoto is their launch pad for Memecoins, and then how they burn their token and buybacks to increase the value of the token. It sounds pretty good. Let's see what else. Nothing MAGA is real. Who cares? PJ Blaze, which president-elect do you think would be the best option since the crypto? RFK Jr. Let's see. Are we at January 2021? Nah, no. Well, maybe. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we should see what you don't have, Rob. That's a pretty good idea, actually. I do have a lot of crypto. I really shouldn't have that much, but yes, ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Now that would be a good meme coin. You know, there was one, this isn't a website I really should talk about today. Let me bring it up real quick. Thanks, cutie. Pump.fun. Sorry, it's my dog. Look at this website. So, and I really shouldn't have brought this up, but if you go to pump.fun, you can find every crazy meme coin, and they're being created at light speed. Actually, I should have brought this up, quite honestly. Look at this stuff. Look at this stuff. And if you think you're going to find the next great meme coin, have at it. Pump.fun. I mean, it's just insanity what's going on. And between us, there's only a couple thousand of us right now. At some point, we got to stop gambling and really get back to investing in things that actually do stuff. I know people will say, well, meme coins do stuff. You know, they're a great community and they bring people together. Sure, that's fantastic. But things that actually, crypto actually does stuff and moves us forward. I mean, I'm all for gambling. That's fine. I lived in Vegas for 2 years. But at some point, we got to say, you know what? It's time to put on the big boy pants and start investing in the things that are actually going to push us forward in the right way. Yep. Big Room Bar. That's my dog. Whew. Over 1 million coins created last month, 20K plus created per day. Miguel, which one is that? Fun of the Sun says, yeah, bought a TANGEM. It's everything Dan has talked about. Can't wait till we can stake from the TANGEM. Good news. I talked to those guys last week. They're going to have native staking this quarter. So that's sometime in May, at the very latest June. You can stake on your cold storage device, your TANGEM wallet, but you have to go through Wallet Connect. I hate doing that. But again, Q2 of this year, you'll be able to do native staking. I cannot wait for that. The website is pump.fun. Have a good time. That's a beefy bark. Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, Dogecoin. That's a good one. You guys are on fire today. You guys are on fire. Oh, no. So, Primal, I have 5 Bitcoin. Should I sell now and hope it goes down and buy it again and hope it goes up? Love from Sweden. I can't tell you what to do. There's a good chance it'll probably go down, but I don't think, actually, I don't know. Maybe it could go down to 45K. Who knows? Some people are saying sub 50. I don't know. But I will just draw your attention, if I could, to not pump.fun, to all these indicators we just talked about. If you have a horizon of a minimum 4 years, I think you're going to like where things are going. You're going to like where things are heading. And I don't think it's so much as like Bitcoin's going to zero anymore. I think that's just preposterous. But it's up to you. All right. What else we got? Yeah, it's got a good point. But Ed, remember they are in Sweden, so I don't know what the short-term or long-term capital gains are. The only ones I know are in Germany. In Germany, if you hold it anything over a year, you pay no capital gains, which is a pretty sweet deal. It's really how it should be, I think. Like long-term capital gains should be very low for people because it but incentivizes people to hold on to their investments. And I think that's good for a state, it's good for a country, and it's good for pretty much everybody to hold on to their investments. El Machico says, sell now. How would you sell after the halving? Miners will hold, price will go up. Well, it's true. You know what we should look at? If you want to see where, let's see. If you want to see how the miners are doing, just go to lookintabitcoin.com. Let's take a look at the charts. And they have it broken down by market cycle, on-chain market. And this is all free, I might add. Lookintabitcoin.com. On-chain movement, lightning, mining. What I'm looking for is Bitcoin miner difficulty. Because remember, the difficulty fluctuates every 2 weeks, depending on how the miners are either capitulating or not. And you can see for the longest time since 2021. Actually, let's go back to 2020. The last halving was May somewhere. Let's just blow this up. God, it looks like nothing. That's because I didn't. Let me reset the zoom. Oop. Goes down here. Here. Still looks like nothing. Still over there. Shoot. What I'm trying to show you is that on the last halving, everything starts to go up and up and up, right? And then at some point, the miners are like, hey, I have the same overhead, I have the same electricity cost, I still have to upgrade all my mining rigs, and I'm doing everything the same except I'm getting half the payment because there wasn't really a big thing in transaction fees. So it was just the rewards, which was Bitcoin. And now, and of course they shut off the rigs because they're like, I can't afford this. And now we take a look here. Oh, well, there we go. So like we can see that we hit an all-time high for difficulty level because there were so many Bitcoin miners out there like, okay, halving, whatever. April 20th, we'll keep going. But at some point they run out of money. Somebody didn't plan right. Somebody says, wow, the electricity costs are higher, or wow, the other Bitcoin mining operation, they just upgraded all their miners and they're twice as fast as me. They shut down and then the difficulty goes down. And when the difficulty goes down, that means that there's a small amount of capitulation. And I think we'll see this actually go down here and down here. So yeah, Bitcoin miners are starting to shut off. The question is how much? That's the big question. It doesn't really, it's not as a big thing for like the network itself. It just shows you that at some point, miners are going to consolidate. Buying Bonk, yeah. I mean, I think Bonk is the next. I feel it's like the Dogecoin of this cycle, but I've been wrong before. I was really pumped on Tuker. But Tuker, I think, is down like 20%. Tuker, if you don't know, is another meme coin that I find extremely entertaining on their YouTube channel. And what they do is when they get revenue that comes in from their, not from their investors, but from their contacts or the people that actually pay them for integrations, they take that money and they do a buyback and burn. So I like, that sounds pretty good. And again, Tucker Carlson is hilarious. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ed said this, and some of the miners get paid to not mine. I did forget about that. That's right. So here in Texas, they're actually incentivized. If there's too much of a strain on the electrical grid, the state of Texas, they contact the mining operation and say, we'd like you to shut down for X amount of hours or amount of days. And the reason why I do that is because if we don't, we can't supply the enough electricity to the entire group of people. And they just shut down. And they get paid to shut down. So that is the one thing. Good point. Yeah, French Toaster. I found out recently that staking rewards are taxed as regular income in the US, not capital gains. That was interesting. French Toaster, I got to tell you, there's one thing that two CPAs can agree on, and that is that the third one is incorrect and doing it wrong. So find your CPA, hopefully you have one, and just say, how do we want to do this? What is the guidelines? How we move about this? And I tell you right now, I'll tell you something different. Find the ones that deal with crypto. And if you don't know how to find those, let me show you a great website. There's a site called Coin Ledger. And it's what I use for my taxes because it's super simple. I just input the wallet addresses. It takes a look at all the transactions because it's on chain anyhow. They can find it. And of course, they take the data from the centralized exchanges. They say, this is how much you owe, Rob. Anyhow, but if you go on that website and scroll all the way down and it says, find a crypto tax expert, here's all the guys that are either lawyers or CPAs that know about crypto or actually do active trading with crypto. So find those guys and just ask for a consultation. See where they're going. Yeah. Lance really wants to have everybody hate me, so I will indulge this. Don't cop out on which president is good for crypto. RFK Jr. will never win. Trump is clearly more pro-crypto than Biden. If Biden's elected again, he'll do everything possible to crush our crypto bags. Let's be honest. So far, the White House has not been too keen on crypto. I know people will say, well, it was under Joe Biden's administration where we got a Bitcoin ETF. Did we not, smart guy? And to that, I have to say, you got a point. You got a point, but remember, there are 5 heads of the SEC. And out of those, it was actually 2-2. And the deciding factor was Gary Gensler. If it wasn't for Gary Gensler's vote, which he has pretty much been very adamant about everything else and has delayed and delayed and delayed. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this Bitcoin ETF. Now, moving forward as far as like with self-custody wallets, with mixers, with everybody that's kind of, let's be honest, a lot of Democrats will say Senator Elizabeth Warren, not all, but a lot, do not like crypto digital assets. So if you think that Biden has been fantastic for crypto, I would have to disagree. If you think Donald Trump is fantastic for crypto, who knows? Let me ask you, they're all politicians, right? How many people is going to say, well, he's just doing that for votes? Don't know. I will say this. He did have a nice card collection on Ethereum, did pretty well. At least he could see that, hey, it does have use case. I don't know. And then the last thing I will say is that RFK Jr. would be the best one. And I know people say, well, he's a third-party contender, so he's never really going to get any speed. Well, not with that kind of attitude, obviously not. But we'll see how it goes. Anyhow, before I log off, I'd like to say to Randy, thanks for stopping by. Randy, you going to be at Consensus in Austin? I will be there. I'm not a big guy that likes to go to these things, but I kind of got roped into this one. So if you're there, we should do some kind of interview or something like that. I know you're coming all the way from New York. So we'll see. So many zesty people. All right, everybody. Look, I got to get out of here. So look, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Look, I know we're going sideways, but trust me, in the summers, and take a look at the last couple of cycles, it's the same thing. Nothing really is going to happen until the end of the year, I don't think. Maybe 2025. That's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.